Today is a Friday, October 20, 2023. Middle East updates on Palestine and Israel. Limitations holding up Gaza aid, UN Chief. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says he's managing limitations being forced on help conveyances to Gaza. We are effectively captivating with every one of the gatherings to explain these limitations. Gaza loss of life tops 4,000 as occupants persevere one more evening of persistent besieging in the midst of vulnerability over a section of help from Egypt. A few groups were killed in an Israeli air assault on the Greek Orthodox St. Porphyrius Church compound, authorities in Gaza say. Israel's protection service tells troops they will before long see Gaza from inside. Somewhere around 4,137 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Gaza since Hamas' October 7 assault inside Israel, which killed in excess of 1,400 individuals. Egypt's Foreign Service hammers Western media. The representative for Egypt's Foreign Service hammers Western media for focusing on Egypt and blaming them for the conclusion of the Rafah crossing regardless of designated Israeli assaults. On X, Ahmed Abu Zaid said, "Focusing on Egypt in Western media is clear in the ongoing emergency. Advancing relocation situation, considering Egypt answerable for the intersection conclusion notwithstanding Israel's designated assaults and refusal of help section and as of late hinting Egyptian obligation regarding blocking third country nationals' exit." He added that the Rafah crossing was open and that the Cairo Harmony highest point on Saturday was a method for steering the contention. Russia in touch with Hamas to free prisoners, emissary. Russia is in touch with Hamas to free prisoners seized by Hamas. Obviously, we have contacts with delegates of Hamas, and as a matter of some importance they are pointed toward safeguarding the prisoners from the spots where they are present, the Izvestia paper cited Russian Minister to Israel Anatoly Viktorov as saying. Israel says there will be no limit to its barricade of the attacked Palestinian area of Gaza without opportunity for around 200 prisoners. Global Times write in editorial the U.S. veto is stained with the blood of Israeli and Palestinian regular people. The Unified Countries Security Chamber, UNSC, comprising 15 part states, decided on October 18 on a draft goal with respect to the Israeli-Palestinian circumstance. The U.S. cast the sole contradicting vote, prompting the goal's inability to pass. China communicated shock and frustration at this choice, which hasn't been selected for China yet addresses an overall opinion inside the worldwide local area. Indeed, even the U.S. partners, Japan and France, cast a ballot in favor, deciding to remain with the simple powers of the global local area, letting the U.S. standing be on the contrary side. The draft goal presented by Brazil conveys a reasonable message, which is to focus on accomplishing a prompt exhaustive truce regardless of anything else. This mirrors the main agreement inside the ongoing global local area. Be that as it may, it was rejected by the U.S., bringing about immediate and serious results. The circumstance in Gaza is rising, with additional regular folks losing their lives and languishing. The new unfortunate episode where north of 500 individuals lost their lives in an emergency clinic in Gaza due to an airstrike has made the circumstance significantly more earnest. Consistently and second counts, and there is a pressing requirement for quick and definitive activity by the UNSC. All nations truly worried about the catastrophe in Gaza are putting forth the most extreme attempts. The U.S. veto is stained with the blood of honest regular folks, and it is a grave shamefulness. It forestalls aggregate activity by the UNSC as well as conveys an incredibly bad message, showing that the UN can't guarantee fundamental worldwide helpful standards at crucial points in time. As a matter of fact, this gives a go-ahead to the individuals who don't comply with global philanthropic regulation. The explanations behind the U.S. veto are progressively indefensible and seem, by all accounts, to be simple reasons. The U.S. claims it cast a ballot against the goal since it didn't specify Israel is on the right track to self-protection. In any case, as the French delegate called attention to, there is no logical inconsistency between the goal and Israel's more right than wrong to self-protection. The inconsistency lies with the U.S. On Monday night, the U.S. rejected a goal proposed by Russia, referring to the shortfall of judgment for Hamas and communicating an eagerness to involve the Brazilian proposition as a premise, mentioning additional opportunities to look for agreement. While this was fairly deplorable, it additionally gave trust that the Brazilian proposition could pass. In the more than 40 hours before the vote, the US neither remarked on the Brazilian goal nor showed resistance, further raising assumptions that the goal would be embraced. By and by, the US actually cast its rejection, which is really amazing and raises questions about whether the US truly maintains that the UNSC should make any move and truly tackle the issue. The Brazil-drafted goal censures all brutality and threats against regular people and all demonstrations of illegal intimidation, asking all gatherings to act reliably with worldwide regulation. It likewise requires the persistent, adequate, and unhindered arrangement of fundamental labor and products to regular citizens, the rescission of the request for regular people and UN staff to empty all regions in Gaza north of the watercourse Gaza, as well as the guaranteeing of helpful help. The draft goal overall mirrors the all-inclusive call of the worldwide local area and addresses the underlying advances taken by the UNSC to advance a truce. It very well might be the main text that the UNSC can arrive at an agreement on in the ongoing circumstance. Whenever passed, it is accepted that it will assume a part in accomplishing a truce, safeguarding regular citizens, and keeping away from a more prominent helpful catastrophe. Notwithstanding, the draft goal was effectively impeded by the US with a denial, mirroring the well-established negligence of the US for the compassionate catastrophe in Gaza. The US, which frequently discusses common liberties, uncovers its actual face with regards to the earnest second when countless regular folks on the whole correct to live is stomped all over. This occurrence has additionally drawn extensive consideration in the U.S. popular assessment. The New York Times expressed that the UN security gathering showed profound divisions when it neglected to pass the goal. CNN said that the denial started more analysis of political loss of motion in the strong worldwide body. The rejection from the US has not just disregarded the most fundamental profound quality and equity, yet in addition harmed the power and validity of the UNSC, debilitating the capacity and readiness of the global local area to keep up with harmony and security. The powerlessness of the UN to maintain global compassion today is straightforwardly brought about by the US negligence and deviation from worldwide philanthropy. The Security Chamber needs to make changes and can't stay stale. The global local area needs to increment moral judgment of such conduct by the US, apply tension, and urge it to get some distance from remaining contrary to the worldwide local area rapidly. The one-sided demeanor of the US is one of the underlying drivers of the well-established Palestine issue, and it goes about as an impetus for heightening the contention when it ejects. At present, the worldwide local area should focus on accomplishing a quick extensive truce to keep the conflict from transforming into a fiasco that immerses the whole district. The US bears the best liability in such manner and can't avoid it. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel.